On October 24th, 1929, the Dow Jones Industrial Average opened at 305.85. The Dow is a stock market index which measures the performance of 30 large companies listed on the stock market exchanges in the United States. Immediately, it dropped 11%, which signaled a stock market correction. From the 1920s being so prosperous, no one saw the crash coming. One economist, Irving Fisher, stated, "Stock prices have reached what looks like a permanently high plateau. I do not feel there will be soon, if ever, a 50 or 60 point break from the present levels, such as bears have predicted. I expect to see the stock market a good deal higher within a few months." People called this the peak of the market, which investors believed would stay for a long period of time. Although 1929, months before the crash, unemployment had been on the rise, and sales in departments had fallen off punctually. Farms and agricultural lifestyle had been failing for years, yet still the people of Wall Street were delirious and optimistic within the stock market. Overconfidence in the stock market grew. Stocks were wildly overpriced, and that collapse was imminent. Many of the buyers were average customers and small investors. This led to the acid bubble, as they were called. Throughout late August, people hunted for new stocks and shares. With the Dow in a great place and the economy being so stable, normal people and small stockbrokers began to invest their money into the stock market. Many average Americans were allowed to invest their money due to the process of buying on margin. Buying on margin allowed ordinary people with little financial acumen to borrow money from the stockbroker and put down as little as 10% of the share value. Soon later, the Federal Reserve Bank raised the interest rate from 5 to 6%. This affected stock market stability and sharply reduced economic growth.
Panic set in early the morning of October 24th, 1929, or Black Thursday as we call it. In that single day, a record of over 12 million shares were traded, causing some instability in the market. Investment companies like the three leading banks, Morgan Bank, Chase National Bank, and the National City Bank of New York, and other big businesses all attempted to stabilize and build some confidence within the market by buying up a great number of stocks. This intervention seemed to temporarily work, and there was some slight recovery, but it wasn't enough to stop the crash that ensued.
On Black Monday, October 28th, with the market closing down, a storm broke abruptly and the stock market went into a free fall. In a one-day span on Tuesday, the stock market crashed. At first, many political and financial leaders treated the drop in stock as a mere spasm in the market, and led with optimism towards the rise in the stock market, and the great revival was around the corner. But everything became a reality. From newspaper to newspaper, in clear fine print, Washington Post ran the headline, "Huge selling wave creates a near panic as stock collapses." Crowds began to amass in less than 2 hours. $10 billion was wiped from stocks. Public panic in the days after the stock market crash led to hordes of people rushing to any bank they can in order to withdraw all their funds in a number of bank runs. And investors and big figures could not return their money because it was already invested in the stock market. Eventually, this led to massive bank failures across the US and further deepened the financial ruin created by the stock market crash. Billions of dollars were lost, wiping out thousands of investors, and stock tickers ran hours behind because the machinery could not handle the tremendous volume of trading. It didn't help the fact that crash forced people to sell business and cash in their own life savings just to survive. People scrambled to find money for food and their own margins. Everyone lost faith in Wall Street the day of the stock market crash.
And ever since that time, there has been a frenzied feeling, a panic selling, such as the country has never seen. It is one of the greatest tragedies in the history of this country.